Okay, I started recording. Okay, 91 Mazda Miata. We changed the. Okay. It started with 2 days ago. You replaced the clutch, correct?
Correct.
The clutch was wearing out. He put a new clutch in it, and after he put the clutch in, it fired up, ran great. Clutch was good and strong, pulling fine. Drove it for 2 days. Yesterday he comes here. The car was running completely fine. He did, however, when he was removing the transmission and everything, he broke the coolant temperature sensor on the back of the block below the ignition coils, but it just had a small skip to it. The coolant temperature sensor was just left alone. He drove it with a little skip, and then he drove it here, shut it off, and it refused to start later when he went to start it. It would not do anything whatsoever. Went this morning and picked up a brand new fuel pump because he has a warranty. He replaced it once. The warranty paid for the new fuel pump, which he put in right here. Now someone has added an alarm system to this car with the fuel pump shut off, which is why this ground wire is going into the gray wire, and it runs. See, they cut the factory ground wire here, ran it to this gray wire, which runs the length of the car to underneath the steering column, and goes to this massive plug-in into this relay. Now I can't feel the relay clicking on. Typically you can put your hand on it when you turn the key and feel a small click or a vibrate, but it's not doing that whatsoever. It turns over, and earlier we got it to where you could turn the car over, it would start for a second and then shut right back off, and now it's barely wanting to start. As soon as you let the key off, it chugs a couple times and dies. We've got fuel in it, I'm assuming.
Everything's back on if you want to try and start it.
And we did have a fuel injector loose from the rail. I don't know if that was it or not. And it still does nothing. It's actually doing less than it was earlier. And let me unhook the gray wire again. And we will try this again. Nothing. And I don't think it threw it at a time. Everything seems fine there. We've put the intake tube back on. That line was capped off. We capped it back off. All the other vacuum lines seem to be hooked up. He fixed the fuel injector that was loose. It's no longer loose, but it still won't start. And earlier it was starting. It would start, run for 3 seconds, and then shut right back off. If you touch the throttle, it would die. And now we're worse off than we were earlier. And it's still not doing anything. So I don't know if there's a relay or another relay or a fuse, or if it is at a time. So I guess we can check the timing. But anyway, any help would greatly be appreciated. And if we figure out what's wrong, I'll post a follow-up and let you know.